right, Mr. Williams, first off, how are you and your mother doing after last night's incident?
You know, we're very thankful. It could have went sideways very easily. It could have been far worse. My mother's really shook up. She keeps reliving it, but we're just thankful that that we're alive. Nobody's hurt.
Yes, sir. And according to the release, it was two armed suspects. Is that correct?
Two armed suspects got out of the car and pointed weapons, mostly at me, some at my mother, and another individual I could see in the driver's seat of the perpetrator's car. I'm not sure if there are others in the car or not.
And what can you tell us about the suspects?
You know, they seem to be young adults. They were wearing masks. They didn't appear to be juveniles, but obviously you don't know a person's age in those brief seconds. And they had automatic guns, and happened very quickly.
Yes, sir. And just 30 minutes after you and your mother were targeted, it appears that these same suspects carjacked someone else.
It appears to be the case. I am not micromanaging or even getting in the middle or in front of or in the mix of the investigation. My mother and I were victims in this case, and we thank the NOPD for their hard work last night and every night. I don't want to comment on what things were connected and what things weren't connected. That's the job of the police department, they did an excellent job last night, and I appreciate their hard work day in and day out.
Yes, sir. Once you made that 911 call, how quickly did NOPD respond?
They responded very quickly. They responded very quickly.
And as far as your vehicle, it was recovered. Can you tell us where it was recovered? Did it have any damage? Was anything taken?
Again, I don't want, some things were taken. I don't want to get into the details of the case. My mother's phone was taken, her wallet was taken. Certain things were recovered already. The car was recovered. It was recovered uptown. They took the car without the key, which I'm sure gave them some difficulty. The key was still in my pocket.
Yes, sir. And as far as fingerprinting or anything like that, will NOPD be handling that aspect of the case, or will that be going up to the crime lab, the state police crime lab?
So, you know, I'm not going to get in the way or even comment other than to say that the officers and detectives that showed up did an amazing job. They were relying on technology. They were coordinating with each other, communicating with other officers across the city. And I appreciate them. I appreciate their dedication to service at a time when we don't have enough officers. But I'm not going to get in the weeds on their work. I'm gonna let them do their work.
Yes, sir. And overall, carjackings are down this year, but still, for the 118, 119 carjacking victims of this year, it's still very traumatic.
Yeah, one is too many. You know, my wife checked on my mom this morning. I came in at 8 to swear in a host of new ADAs who just passed the bar and anxious to get involved in this fight to help make the city safer. And, you know, one is too many. It is good that all of the numbers are trending down. It is good that the strategies we've been working on with interim Chief Woodfork and now with Chief Kirkpatrick, it's good to know that those strategies are working, but the numbers are still too high, right? And so we've got to stay focused and we got to stay diligent to bring that number down.
I'm not sure if you're able to comment on this, but as far as security detail, do you have one? And if not, Will you have one moving forward?
So the DA's office has not traditionally budgeted for around-the-clock security detail. I can tell you that leadership in the office today, they want to have a very long conversation with me about that fact. We have prioritized spending our limited resources in other ways in the DA's office, but these folks want to have some conversations about that moving forward.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add just about what happened to you and your mother last night?
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that this can happen to anybody. Violence touches us all, not just carjackings, domestic violence. Everything touches our families. And if we don't see it touching us, then we're not asking enough questions, we're not looking deep enough. Violent offenders, they don't know the difference between parish boundaries. They're like hurricanes, right? They affect law enforcement, prosecutors, barbers, plumbers. We're all just New Orleanians.
As far as the events from last night, how quickly did this all play out?
It's very quick. It's very quick. I mean, I've sat since being sworn in as DA with countless victims describing their worst moments. And sometimes those worst moments are their worst seconds. And it happens in the blink of an eye. And I just think it's important to reiterate that my mother and I are just a very small fraction of the number of people who've been affected by violence in this city. And we just have to collectively work on crime prevention efforts, doing what we can to help policing efforts, and do what we can to help our prosecution efforts.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
It's just a huge thank you to the men and women who played a role in this investigation last night, and everybody that's reached out with kind words since they found out what happened.
Well, thank you so much. We do appreciate your time, and we're glad that you and your members.
Thank you. I appreciate it.